Okay. Tonight we're going to have a public hearing on the budget process, which I'll explain in a minute. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Who's Dave? I'm sure Dave will be here momentarily. Okay. Before we get started, I wanted to make sure everybody knows that we haven't really started the budget process. We are just starting to meet with department heads, but in August, September, and October, for a few minutes before each board meeting, we want to make sure we have the comments from people in the town that might have things they want to say. So any ideas that you have for us that will enhance the process, or any ideas about how to handle something, we'd love to hear from. So first on the list is Ann McCabe. Would you like to, do you want to go over there?
Yeah, Andrea said it.
Ann McCabe, Darren Road. Taxpayers can only discuss the town board's financial decisions if they have access to all the board conversations about priorities and expenditures. This board has reduced the ability of taxpayers to hear those conversations by refusing to have a written agenda and written minutes for the work session meetings. There is no public record of these. Even 3 of the televised official board meetings have had sections removed or lacked sound.
Excuse me, but do you have a comment about the budget?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
It's actually about the budget.
This relates to the budget. That's correct. I began by saying that we can't really have good input unless we have the ability to get output.
You're invited to come to town hall any day, which you don't do, but you're more than welcome to come and get any information and any numbers you'd like. Love to have you come.
Okay, may I return to my topic?
If it's budget-oriented, yeah.
Yes, it's definitely budget-oriented. Thank you. If the board wants the trust of the community and input on its budget, the board will have to ensure that all non-executive session meetings have hard copy written agenda and minutes and provide open, dependable public electronic access. At the January 18th official meeting of the board, a motion was made and passed to use $18,171 of taxpayer money to pay 50% of supplemental retirement insurance of 5 individuals, who I later found out through a Freedom of Information Act were not employees but sworn officers of the town, 3 having been supervisors, 1 a town clerk, and 1 a town tax collector. Mr. Walsh's motion followed Ms. Moss's comment that none of these individuals had been told that they had to pay 50% of their supplemental bills. Ms. Moss, when asked whether these people were, in fact, official retirees who had been elected, did not answer the question. There are many unclear aspects about the spending of this $18,171 this year, and about the promise to return to possibly spending it again in the next few years. Why did Ms. Moss not reveal that these were elected town officials, all of whom were supposed to be living by the town code, and some of whom may have even written it? Is there money that was not paid by these individuals between 2003 and now? If so, has anyone made any attempt to get the monies back? The rapidity of passing that motion, compared to the inability of the board to act on the budgetary issue of the Mid-Hudson Library contract, raises questions also. The board had a year to consider the hard work of the Library Steering Committee, to examine the survey of the town residents which overwhelmingly supported the library, a survey that Mr. Walsh himself said was statistically worthy. So the question arises, why the delay? Does someone not wish to have public funds spent on public projects? Will these libraries, if they are introduced on a private level, afford the taxpayers the same amount of value that they are getting through public use of funds on public libraries?
Can I say you have 5 seconds?
Thank you. I'm asking the board not to put monies in the budget for paying the 50% supplemental insurance premiums of those 5 individuals, and to pass the library contract as originally stated. Thank you.
Betty Albrecht.
Betty Albrecht, Equestrian Center
director. I'd just like to put a little input into the budget for next year for the Equestrian Center. In past years, we've always been given $2,000 in the budget. This last year, we were given $1,000, and money was taken out, equal $1,200 was taken out for the horse pull that Richard Albrecht does for Community Day. It was always taken out of Community Day fund. So somehow last year they decided to take it out of our budget. So I just wanted to say that Richie won't be doing the horse pull again, so you don't have to put money in for that. He's done it 24 years, decided to kind of give that up and let the town have another chance to maybe do a horse show or something else at the Equestrian Center. So if you could please put that money back into the budget line. And there's always the saying, if you want to make money, you have to have money. So for 8 years, I would talk to Rob about putting more money in than the $2,000. If you want us to make money on clinics and horse shows, we have to have the money to pay the judges. A clinician is sometimes between $500 and $700. So horse show, you have to pay judges, you have to get ribbons. So consequently, we rely now on a lot of outside people coming in to do our horse shows that rent the facility. So if you want us to do some more things at the Equestrian Center, I would be happy to give you some things we could consider doing and how much money we would need.
So Betty, you know we're going to be having our department head meetings this month. So we'll be doing that face to face. So you
Okay.
can bring all those ideas to the department head meeting. When we
Okay.
schedule it with you, and you can lay them all out, which we'd love to hear. You've done some good things this year, and everybody's been excited.
Yeah,
so-
I gave everybody a folder to tell you what we did. We bring in a lot of money. We'll be bringing in over $6,000. So there is another item which I think would fall under budget. I don't know. It's the driveway to
We
the...
already have that on the infrastructure list, right? Is that the sand? You need sand and the driveway.
Right.
We
is
already have that down.
So we don't have to worry about where
That's
that
a-
money's going
You
to
can
come.
still worry, but we
You
may,
still have to worry.
we have to prioritize them.
Yes, well, I was thinking if you could tell Richie to do the work, then it's in-house.
We'll do that in our meeting. We have to get more, we have to get, remember you started working on quotes
Right,
and all that.
right.
We're
Well,
working on it. but
I
that's
didn't
a-
know if this, when you're starting your budget meetings, if this should be considered.
Yes. It's on the infrastructure list, and the board has to prioritize and vote on the prioritization. But we'll discuss that when we meet
All right,
with Jess, okay?
okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you for coming.
And thank Richie again for 24 years of all that
That was a great
horse
horse
pulls.
pull, it really was. Thank you. Cynthia Mercier.
Oh.
I want to encourage that the pool department become a real department separate from the recreation department. I'd like to see better control of its finances and a return on it, since 75% of the people who use it are not town residents. And I also believe that they will be able to think differently for their students than has happened in the past. And I think that separating it out would give more ownership and control to the right people who already run the pool and have something to say about it, as you have seen in the last televised meeting where she came in and asked about the disability sling to get disabled persons in the pool. I think that most town residents would like to see a breakdown that's more specific as to the use of the pools, and to be able to say the use of the pool costs this much just for camp versus this much for other programs. And I think that everybody would be much more informed for things like the swim team, which most people didn't know we had, as was even remarked at that meeting. So that's what I'd like to encourage you to think about. And it would also help in the career development. Not only will it help in the fact that students will get better attention, but also the career development of the people who work there would make them want to work here longer and be a desirable location for them.
Great,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Did anybody want to say anything that didn't get a chance to sign up? No? Okay. Thank you all very much.
Make a
May I have
motion to close the public hearing?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Public hearing is closed. Will you all please join me? I'm going to call the meeting to order now, and we're going to
2
like to
minutes yet.
salute. We should wait.
Yeah.
Actually, Steve, we got 2 more
Okay.
minutes.
I gotta give something to somebody.
In case somebody's coming for the 7:30 part, we should wait.
Yeah, that's yours. Maybe it's the original.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I had somebody stop to see me at the last minute before the
I
meeting.
hung because I went by.
Oh, I saw you,
I
yeah.
was trying to do it
I
twice.
was, yeah. No, I was just leaving. A guy pulled up, had some questions, so I couldn't
Yeah.
ignore him. Yeah, fine. Nope, before with the heavy downpour.
It's weird because